I want to dip my toe into the Hannah Lynn and Diamond Art Club drama just a little bit, but first, my name is Marissa. I make a variety of diamond art content. If you like that sort of stuff, consider subscribing, liking. No boofing allowed. Let's get a few disclaimers out of the way. This is all alleged and also for entertainment purpose only. This is commentary on it and maybe a few opinions. I am not a professional and I'm not doing anything wrong. I want to have a civil conversation, maybe ask Diamond Art Club for a statement. I do love Diamond Art Club. I think that they are a fantastic company that have fantastic quality, and this just kind of threw me through a loop because I've only had amazing experiences with them. And yeah, I plan on reading this and kind of just talking about it. I don't want this to be a bash session. That is not what I am here for. I am here for open conversation and learning and educating, but I do feel like it's kind of getting swept under the rug. I've witnessed it personally get posted twice in the VIP group, and each time it was deleted. It's not on any of the regular Reddit ones. There is a Truth About Diamond Art Club Reddit thing, subreddit I guess it's called, and it's obviously stayed post there because the moderators aren't going to delete it, obviously, if that's what it's about. The whole thing is just confusing and there's so many rumors flying around, and that's scary, especially when you do love a company. I do like Diamond Art Club. I mean, I'm working on Nightbringer right now and they are a majority of my stash because I trust their quality. From what I've seen in their groups, they have amazing, customer service. I've personally witnessed them listening to their audience and making changes and working on things to make the community happy. So I'm not here to bash them. I don't want anyone to bash them. Let's give everybody involved the chance to make things right or clear some things up because we're only getting one side of the story. So yeah, let's kind of just get into this. Like I said, commentary, all of this is alleged, opinions, entertainment purposes only. I'm not doing anything wrong and I'm not trying to offend anyone. I just want it to be a conversation. So Hannah Lynn posted this. It says it's 5 hours from now, 5 hours ago. I'm going to try to read this out loud to the best of my ability. My mouth isn't mouthing and my brain isn't working. So let's try this for about the 100th time, because I swear I can read out loud sometimes. All right, so this is from Hannah Lynn Art and Design. It says, I can't begin to express how difficult this has been for me and just how much courage it has taken me to do this. I did everything I could to diffuse the situation, but it's gotten to the point where this is no longer just about me. If ever there was a hill I was willing to die on, this is the one. If it means I end up penniless fighting in civil court and subsequently have to scrub toilets in a chicken suit to pay my bills, so be it. A previous diamond painting kit company I licensed my artwork with, Diamond Art Club, aka DAC, has been threatening to sue me with absolutely outrageous claims that the exclusivity clause is not limited to the term of the contract, which was terminated by DAC in January and officially expired in April 2024. For the licensing rights to all of my artwork in the entire field of diamond painting, and that I am in breach of contract for since licensing my work to other diamond painting companies, even though I have documented emails of their discussing my moving on and signing with others, and claiming ownership over my derivative copyrights, which they contractually agreed not to do. It wasn't a sale or purchase agreement. It was a limited license agreement for 3 years, which clearly states under ownership of artwork. License agrees that it will not claim any intellectual ownership rights to the artwork or any derivative compilation, therefore, or thereof, unless such rights are granted to licensee by licensor. After they clearly terminated our agreement and retired all of my kits, with all of these claims being presented months after the contract has ended, and only after I had already signed on with multiple other diamond painting companies, Docs available for review below. I will post screenshots of those as well. So far what I'm getting is, this is a long one. So I'm going to pause there for a second to kind of tell you what I'm understanding of this, because I am not a professional. I am starting to see that they licensed Hannah Lynn. They terminated her after her 3 years contract, or before her 3 years contract, archived all of her diamond art, and then is trying to prevent her from working with other companies. I think that is not okay. That is pretty sad. But I also have the question of, Diamond Art Club put a ton of work into hand rendering her art. Are there any differences? Are these other companies using the field and the rendering that they had personally put their work into for theirs and just trying to sell it as a canvas? Because then I don't know how the legalities of that. But like, let's say she submits her art for other companies and they're rendering it themselves, even if it is similar, because you could only do so much to artwork, especially when it's already completed. I don't know. This is why I'm talking about it, because I don't know. Is there a morally gray area there that's like, well, their contracts ended, she has rights to the whole field, and the other companies should be able to sign her and use that work? Or is it like, is Dak's problem just that they're using their rendering style and the work that they put into it for the other companies? I don't know. Maybe she'll get into it. I'm not sure. Okay, let's keep going. If your jaw is on the floor right now, or you just spit out whatever was in your mouth, just imagine how I feel. I am just as dumbfounded as you are. Even reading it back, it doesn't seem real. I keep thinking I'm going to wake up and it's all been a nightmare, but it's the truth. And there is more power in it for me, not them. I refuse to suffer in silence or protect them from their egregious, oh wow, I can read. All right, for their egregious behavior. I will not be threatened like this by anyone. She is for cereal in here. I do want to throw out another disclaimer. We're barely into the tip of the iceberg of this. I'm not really a fan of Hannah Lynn. I mean, I respect that she does her own art. She has a beautiful creative outlet and yada yada, but it's just not my style. I know there's so many people out there that love her artwork, and good for you. Get your bag, girl. Like, you need to do it. You need to enjoy it, especially with diamond art, because it takes so long. But I did want to throw out there, Hannah Lynn is not one of my top favorite artists. I haven't worked on anything from her. This whole situation is just interesting. There is obviously a lot more background to what led to this point, but in the interest of time and letting the truth speak for itself, I've added a few relevant documents below for review. I was emailed unprovoked multiple times from Dak about different things starting a few weeks ago, when I finally started releasing new kits after not being able to make an income on diamond paintings for most of this year due to the transition. I was accused of theft by way of interfering or infringing on their copyrights, charted designs of my artwork, defamation, which is telling lies, not the truth, and breach of contract, called unethical and dishonest, and threatened with litigation multiple times. Okay, so they don't like the fact that she's trying to use their rendering. I don't know the legalities of that. I don't want to comment on that because I don't know. Sometimes morale with legalities, they just don't align. What's legal and what's moral sometimes do not align. What's right and what's wrong, it's legal. I don't understand all that business, but it sounds like they're trying to use Diamond Art Club's rendering, which I don't really think is okay. I mean, they can take inspiration from it or make a few adjustments to it, but honestly, I think they should submit her artwork and render it themselves. That's just my opinion, but do they really have the right to say, hey, you can't use that? It is her artwork, and it clearly stated earlier that when their contract is done, you know what I mean? It's done. You can do whatever you want with it because it's your artwork. So I don't know. That's so conflicting. That's so hard. Like, I don't know how that would go. Let's continue. I retained legal counsel and had them read over all of the contract and other communications to send a response on my behalf because I had gone as far as I could go on my own. The contract is clear. Just because DAC doesn't like it, it doesn't change the laws or the terms of the agreement, nor does it give them the right to harass me, accuse me of things I didn't do, and threaten me. This absolutely cannot stand in the realm of copyrights and serves to set an extremely dangerous precedent in the licensing industry for all artists, as does claiming unfounded extensions of provisions outside of a clearly defined and clearly expired contract. She does have a point there. And I haven't seen anything about defamation. I don't know what she's said in the past. I haven't really looked further in it. I just kind of wanted to talk about this. Oh man, and it is long. Oh boy. Okay. So that's about as far as I got when I was reading it originally, but the rest is going to be like, I haven't read this yet. It says, I was not happy with our business relationship while I was with them for a lot of reasons and have had my share of disputes with them. Yet I always remained cordial in communications with them and on social media, and never ever spoke out about their terrible behavior or the way I felt publicly on my page or on Reddit, even after our contract expired. Why? Because I wanted to put these last couple years behind me of losing an unquantifiable amount of income from this restrictive contract that I had signed. I accepted that for those 3 years and learned my lesson and move on. And I didn't want diamond painting fans to feel bad for using their kits if they changed their perception of DAC. I still don't. Oh, that's sweet. So she's not trying to like blacklist the company or tell people to not use them because she had a bad experience. I can respect that. Fans spent a lot of hard-earned money on their Hannah Lynn kits, and they are going to be working on them for years to come. And I deserve to have my page and career be about my art, not business drama. I agree with that. All right, Hannah. I can see that. Had I known that any of this was a possibility with this company, I never would have signed, that's all caps, to license my work for their use in the first place. Why would I risk that? I've created a portfolio of copyrights with my bare hands over nearly 20 years of hard work and sacrifices to build and promote my brand. Good for you. As most artists have, I've put up with a lot of garbage over the years. No one should have to deal with this type of business relationship and litigious, obviously, legal counsel stuff, bullying. So litigious bullying. There's a fair competition and even valid business disputes, but this is not that. I'd rather sell everything I own and live in a dumpster before I tolerate this harassment and the intimidation from anyone. I don't care how big they are. I'm absolutely done with being treated like a doormat. Oh, she's angry. I'm here for it. Okay. They may be able to take my money by way of legal fees, but never my dignity or my voice. They canceled my contract because I refused the exclusivity moving forward, which was required by them without a royalty advance. Okay. I'm going to go back. That's not okay. Because I refused the exclusivity moving forward, which was required by them without a royalty advance or additional compensation, among other failed negotiation topics, and then retired all of my kits, exclusivity, which prevented me from signing with any other diamond painting companies, even if DAC didn't want to put all of my artworks into production, which they didn't, along with other FOMO marketing model in which the kits sell out within minutes of release, then remain out of stock for months on end. This is true. I'm still waiting for my unicorn. They have 700 kits in restock right now. Whew. And they do lean heavily on the FOMO. I've talked about it in other videos. FOMO meaning fear of missing out. Okay, created large secondary and black market. Ooh, that is true. I have seen people selling them for like $200+ just to, make money back on the sold out, out of stock or archived kits. It's ridiculous. Which competed directly with my ability to earn appropriate royalties in this industry and serve my fans effectively. This is true. I just couldn't justify it based on our history together, so I offered to work together on an image exclusive basis, which is how 99% of licensing companies do it, where you are still allowed to license other images in your portfolio to other companies at the same time in the same industry for the same product. And I was told it was a non-negotiable. They did not create nor do they own the industry of diamond painting, and these charts are based so closely on cross-stitch charts, which have been around for decades, and I have licensed for over 15 years and have already had most, if not all, of these same artworks also charted as cross-stitch charts, some before I even signed with DAC. They made their sales, didn't want to sell my kits anymore, retired them, and then let me go, or so I thought. This is all just to purposely interrupt the considerable source of my income, the one I earned to feed my family. I am not a big company. I am a human artist. I will never understand how someone could be so cruel. I am just sick over this. Literally. I am losing massive amounts of sleep and now weight from not eating properly and being nauseous all day, struggling terribly with major anxiety and panic attacks. My autoimmune arthritis is flaring, and I am not okay. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I hate that you're upset like this. Whew. Man, that sucks. That's so sad. Like, you can't monopolize someone like that, especially if there is no more contract. I don't think that that's okay. That's sad. All right. I have provided multiple opportunities for Dak to walk away and leave me alone, and they've now got me backed into a corner. This has been affecting my health, both physically and mentally, my family, my life's work, my time, and stands to be a potential threat to other artists, copyrights, and well-being who may consider signing their art for licensed used with this business. Only they claim to be supportive of all licensed artists. I will not be silenced with threats of confidential protection or accused of slander, liable defamation. If people end up feeling differently about DAC after reading truthful reports of their business dealings, then DAC damage their own reputation with their abhorrent actions, and calling them out on those actions is not only perfectly legal, but just. Any challenges or losses suffered by their community resulting from this can only be attributed to their own choice and actions. Oof, burn. Okay. Whew. This is so much more serious than I thought it would be, because you can't silence someone like that. And they do strictly monitor everything they do. I have talked to other creators where, there's just rumors of them saying something, or, they want to talk about multiple other companies, and they are so specific of, if you want to work with us, you're not allowed to do this. And that just is so restrictive. And I always hold those to rumors. It's just allegations, and frankly, unless something personally happens with me, I don't know if I could believe them. But this girl has some receipts, and, she was with him for 3 years. I have personally witnessed her stuff sell out really fast. I mean, there's still all kinds of stuff for their D-stash. I've seen on eBay, just because I was curious, some of her art going for like $300+ because it was archived, and it's ridiculous. Like, I do see some valid points that she is bringing to the table, and it is questionable. You can't control someone like that because it's threatening your business. DAC is established. Like, they're not going anywhere. They're monopolizing the field, but this seems like just like a dirty, pointless tactic. Like, if she wants to move on, let her move on. She has a fan base. Like, there's a room, I think, for everyone, especially like small shops and stuff. Go you. Like, I don't know. People want a variety. Like, I don't want to have a one-stop shop. I want to see everybody else too, at least. I hope they make a statement. Yeah. Okay. The letter from their legal counsel dated July 3rd, 2024, in response to the one my lawyer sent on July 1st, 2024, attached below, sets a deadline of July 10th, 2024 to come to an informal resolution, whatever that means. I'm not talking to anyone at their company, which states, if the parties cannot reach an agreement informally, DAC will have no choice but to move forward with a formal action. Ooh, that sucks. It was also stated in previous emails before I even got to lawyers that they would have no choice but to pursue legal action, and that continuing to infringe on their rights would definitely lead to litigation, but they would prefer to work things out without having to pay for expensive lawyers. I'm sure they would. So it sounds like they're putting her into a corner and she's not willing to bend, which she shouldn't. It is her right, her work. The contract is ended, but it comes to my personal question of, is she trying to use their rendered art to sell through a different company? I don't think that's okay. That's just my personal opinion. You can give yours, but if they're rendering it themselves and yeah, it comes out similar, like I think on, is it Heart and Soul? Or the one with the diamond art, she's with another company now. And I did see that they were making some changes. And I think that's fine. If they want to make changes, they're allowed to make changes. She's not contracted with DAC anymore. Okay. I've already spent $1,000 in legal fees and countless hours of my life that I will never get back, either on the phone dealing with legal counsel, researching, or taking extra mental and physical health time out over the last month. This has been going on. Over the last month, this has been going on, and it's really affected my production schedule as well, which has resulted in further lost income. The counsel I paid for was a short-term thing and was local to my area, but seeing as how DAC is getting ready to file a suit against me, I need to put a new one on retainer as soon as possible in California, where they are located, and start the process of catching them up. More hours, more emails, more phone calls that have nothing to do with art. Lawsuits are expensive, and I just started getting my income back on track after a challenging year of dealing with this transition among so many other things. My losses are already in the thousands of dollars at this point, and if their threats of potential substantial financial judgment, including their attorney fees and costs, prevail, I will lose the rights to my licensed work for diamond paintings and continue to lose more income. There will not likely be any Hannah Lynn diamond paintings or Hannah Lynn art at all. That's so sad. That's fucked. That's not okay. Come on, get your shit together. This is ridiculous. Okay. I humbly ask my friends and anyone who takes a common interest in protecting the copyrights of artists for help with legal fees, as I've run out of time and patience. I feel like the only option I have left is to fight this with my incredible husband and family right by my side, as I know so many of my amazing fans will be. Anything you can donate to my PayPal, HannahLynn_Disney at yahoo.com. Become a supporter through Patreon, patreon.com/Hannah Lynn will be greatly appreciated. GoFundMe is pending approval, and if there are excess donations, they didn't go on my legal fees. They will go to other artists who are in need of legal fees for similar cases. There's more of you out there? That sucks. Case by case at my discretion, or a charity of my choosing. Other ways you can support my art: Hannah Lynn coloring books on Amazon, HannahLynn.com, Hannah Lynn art on Etsy, Art and Soul diamond paintings. It is Art and Soul. And then it has a link there. Feel free to share your own personal experiences with Dak on this post. Ooh, she is rallying the troops. All right, notice any comments or communication from Dak, their employees, or their admins will be considered harassment. Ooh, please don't. This is getting dicey. I'm kind of scared to post this. And saved for my records. Please understand that I may be offline for a while due to all of this, which will help my mental health, but I'm still going to be working, getting diamond paintings into production, making new art, working on my upcoming pets coloring book. Oh, that sounds cute. And releasing Patreon content, and will be answering customer emails as best as I can considering the situation and my health. Thank you to all of my fans. You are the reasons I keep going. Hannah. Oh, I'm scared to post this. Okay, so I'm going to read the documents below just so we can kind of get more of an idea because girl had receipts. It says on Wednesday, February 21st of 2024. So this is after she was terminated before the contract expired. This is at 7:57 p.m. It says, "Hi, Hannah. I saw your post today. Just a friendly heads up to be cautious about where you license your work. I truly want the best for you, which I still believe should be DAC, even though they discontinued her, refused to. Okay, cool. But on running their businesses ethically." What? Wait. "I saw your post today. Just a friendly heads up to be cautious about where you license your work. I truly want the best for you, which I still believe should be DAC. But blank are sneaky sleazeballs with no clue on running their business ethically. How do you know? Most attacks you see on DAC from blocked customers come from either abusive customers or trolls sent our way." I've never, okay. They've even created a Facebook group for DAC haters to slander us. Well, if you're giving shitty things, you're going to receive shitty things. In fact, I'm almost certain that the blank comments is from blank owner blank. Okay, I'm obviously biased, but I wanted to give you a heads up before the genie is out of the bottle and you can't undo what happens next. I feel like this is threatening, not helping. And I am not talking about ending your relationship with us, but about allowing questionable companies to use your artwork. They had already terminated her at this point, okay? As a side note, much do you want us to make from each new design left? That makes no sense. We can do as little as blank. We are not planning to maximize the advance, and we'll discontinue whatever artwork we have left as soon as it sells out, regardless of the advance amount remaining, so we can just put this chapter behind us. FYI, the remaining restocks left are already on the water and should be back in stock very soon. Thank you. Sent from Mobile. Hannah Lynn note. Email from DAC contacting me in acknowledgement of my Facebook post announcing our upcoming amicable separation in April 2024. Obviously, with the mutual understanding that I would be signing with other diamond painting companies after contract expiration. Wow. Okay, this one is Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. Hi, Hannah. Oh, yes, no worries. We will make blank of each. No problem. We're not concerned about leftover inventory since we run a tight ship and don't have a lot of SKU concentration. And yes, I completely understand the quality aspect. You know I am very particular about quality. Ha ha. Good quality travels fast, but bad quality travels even faster, and I still have nightmares about drill quality. Besides DAC, who owns their own factory? All diamond painting companies essentially use the same few suppliers and the same drill manufacturer, whether they know it or not, since Many Chinese suppliers operate under fake trading names. The quality will be pretty much the same for everyone in terms of drill quality and soft canvas. I know blank is extremely ethical, has good customer service, and has reached out to us before during licensing misunderstandings when agents messed up. They've always been stand up. Blank also does things by the book. Blank is also great in terms of reputation and customer service, but does use acrylic instead of resin diamonds. Those are the only ones I have good personal experiences with. Blank is pretty much clueless and just copies DAC. I'm assuming Dreamer Designs. I don't mind giving you this info because I want you to do well. I wish we could work on a non-exclusive basis like we do with some other artists who don't have such a loyal fan base that follows them everywhere. But like I said, if we allow that with you, we'd practically be promoting competitors, which is a no-go. We've pretty much outgrown each other, and that's okay. Thank you. See, that was kind of a nice email, maybe? Hannah Lynn note. Email number 2. Reply later that day from DAC again acknowledging upcoming separation in April 2024, confirming the understanding that I would be signing with other diamond painting companies after the contract expiration, and reconfirming that my moving forward with their company without exclusivity is a no-go. Okay, so she has some receipts. Okay, so blank. This is February 22nd to me. Oh, Hannah, quickly. I just thought about it. If you sign new companies, maybe consider a short-term 1-year agreement. That way you can see if you prefer the new setup or not. If you don't like how things go and want to come back, go DAC exclusivity. Having a short-term agreement would obviously help with that so your artwork doesn't get diluted among many companies and we can get back on track fast. Ooh. This isn't a good look. We would still have all your charts ready so we can turn them around within 3 months. Something to keep in mind. Hannah Lynn, note, email number 3, the next day, 2/22/24, so February 22nd of 24, from DAC, again acknowledging the upcoming separation in April 2024, confirming the understanding that I will be signing with other diamond painting companies after contract expiration. So yes, they knew she was moving on. Okay, we understand that. But my question still is she trying to use their rendering? Because every company can either do, sorry, it got bumped. Any company can do their own rendering. Every company has their own rendering style, whether it be a computer generating rendering, which sometimes can be higher pixelation, or if it's computer rendered and then hand charted to make it better and easy flowing. Like there's just, I'm going to say it again. It sucks, and if she can legally use the rendering DAC did for her, then she should be able to. But I don't know where that lies with the legality of it. Should she use the rendering that they did for her? I don't think so. I think every company has their own styles, their own morals, and the way that they do things and the way that they have production made. So they should be able to stick to their own things. But who knows? I could be completely wrong. Once again, I am not a professional. And I can kind of see where both sides are coming from. I'm coming from a neutral outsider that, I like Diamond Art Club. This seems pretty shitty to me, but at the same time, what exactly is she complaining about? Is she trying to use the exact rendering that DAC had done and hand charted for her, or are they trying to completely stop her from working with any company at all? I don't know. Okay, and I don't see anything slanderous that she's saying here. I just don't. For settlement purposes only, subject free, some weird S thing, FRE, some weird S thing, 408. July 1st, 2024. Oh, this is new. It is only the 10th. RE, termination of Hannah Lynn's artist license agreement. Dear blank, this law firm represents Hannah Lynn, Miss Lynn, in connection with her intellectual property matters. As you know, Miss Lynn was a party to artist license agreement between herself as the license and Diamond Art Club DAC as the licensee, which granted DAC limited exclusive non-transferable license to copy, distribute, advertise, promote, market, sell, and use Miss Lynn's artwork, the agreement. Okay, so this is just kind of going over the thing. Okay, please understand that Miss Lynn takes her intellectual property matters seriously and respects the intellectual property of others. After a careful review of the facts and agreement, we insist that you stop claiming ownership in derivative works, and we would like to clarify that the statements mentioned by the user on Reddit. Ooh, I didn't know there was a Reddit thing. Hold on, let me turn the fan off real quick. So we're about to get into some Reddit drama, I think. Okay. Per the agreement, Section 2.1 states licensee agrees that it will not claim any intellectual ownership rights to the artwork or any derivative compilation thereof unless such rights were granted to licensee by licensor. Under 17 U.S.C. Weird S Things 101, okay, we get it, a bunch of weird things. A derivative artwork is any work based on or derived from one or more pre-existing works. In order for the derivative work to be copyrightable, it must add new copyrightable material to said work. To achieve a copyright on the derivative work, there has to be contributions that are more than trivial. Under Section 2.1. DAC agreed that it would not claim ownership in any derivative compilation thereof, which clearly states all derivatives are owned by Miss Lynn. Okay, so they didn't make any crazy changes. They just pixelated it to make it a canvas to be diamond painted. I mean, I don't see how that, it doesn't change her art. It just made it pixelated, in my opinion. In our view, the works made by DAC are derivative of the original artwork that add a scheme for users to make the artwork using specific colors at specific points, similar to the paint by number chart. Exactly, that's what I just said. Hey, I have brains sometimes. Since the numbers or points cannot be separated from the original work of art, we do not agree that this would satisfy the creation of something new or anything beyond the trivial addition. Correct. If these derivatives created a new copyright, then we ask that you assign those copyrights to Miss Lynn as agreed under the agreement. I mean, they're not wrong. Although it may be a new copyright, it's all still a derivative. If, however, you are claiming the works are transformative, we would ask for clarity as to know how the works are transformative. I don't think they are. We would also like to note that Miss Lynn has never given any work from DAC to any third party, regardless of copyright claims. The charts and graphs by DAC available online, and that is beyond control of Miss Lynn. There is no wrongdoing by Miss Lynn, altering others to the availability of these charts and graphs online, or by referencing derivatives of her own copyright artwork. Oh, okay. So it doesn't sound like she's trying to use the DAC ones. Okay, there was one instance where a licensee placed a market image of a chart or graph that was made by DAC next to Miss Lynn's artwork, but Miss Lynn told said licensee to remove the content, which licensee promptly did. So it wasn't even her own doing. Someone else posted the differences or something like that, is what I'm understanding. I could be stupid. You know, we all have our moments. I need to change my no. I need to change my battery real quick because I don't want it to die in the middle of this because that would suck. Okay. Let's finish this. I have my daughter taking a bath, which if you hear the water running, it's echoey house. It's an old house. My AC is on, and that's louder than what I'm used to, but I have to get through this. I started this, and I'm not a quitter. Well, I am kind of a pansy ass, though. I am terrified to post this. Oh my god, I'm actually gonna do it though, fuck it. Alright, so I finished off right about here. There's one instance where the licensee placed a marketing image of a chart or graph that was made by Dak next to Miss Lynn's artwork, but Miss Lynn told said licensee to remove the content, which licensee promptly did. With that, it's worth noting that the agreement was terminated in writing April 20th of 2024, which was expressed to Miss Lynn by blank in an email dated January 25th, 2024. In accordance with the Section 7.1 of the agreement. There is nothing in the agreement that prevents Miss Lynn from talking about the agreement to third parties once the agreement has ended. They might add that clause in there now, as there is no clause extending confidentiality once the agreement is terminated. Miss Lynn is free to talk to anyone regarding her contract and her work experience with Dak, as Section 4 of the agreement is no longer applicable. Furthermore, Dax claims that Miss Lynn breached Section 1.2 of the agreement for licensing the same artworks to competitors is also unfounded, as the licenses were granted after the contract expiration date. Okay, lastly, it's worth mentioning that the events that transpired on Reddit, while it was an unfortunate situation for both Miss Lynn and Dak, it is important to clarify the facts. The Redditor in question presented herself to Miss Lynn as being someone who worked in the field of intellectual property. After the agreement terminated and Section 4 was no longer applicable, Miss Lynn shared her concerns regarding her experience in business matters in what Miss Lynn believed was a confidential attorney-client privilege setting. Miss Lynn at no point believed nor had reason to believe that their confidential talks would be shared. While Section 4 of the agreement is no longer applicable, Miss Lynn does not see the value in intentionally tarnishing the reputation of others to provide no authorization of any public statements regarding Dak. Comments made by Miss Lynn to the Redditor in private were truthful and factual. However, since Miss Lynn did not post the statements on Reddit herself, it is speculation on what would be considered direct quotes, opinions, or possible misrepresentations thereof from the perspective of the Redditor and or the reader upon review of the since removed post. Miss Lynn has confirmed that the statements made in the post include information and opinions from various sources which are unrecognizable and unattributable, to Miss Lynn. In summary, Miss Lynn would ask that Dak cease and desist continued representations that Dak owns any derivative works, turn over any copyright assignments from said derivative works if applicable, and put an end to discussions that Miss Lynn has committed theft. Wow, they're going for the heart. Defamation, or has helped third parties defame Dak. That's ridiculous. You're allowed to state your opinion. And also, another attorney wasn't speaking on her behalf, so therefore she cannot be held responsible for it. She did not say, hey, I want you to post this. It wasn't in confidence of saying, it was supposed to be in the confidence of, this is a private conversation. They went public with it. From what I understand, I have not seen that post, but from what I understand, this is all alleged. These are all opinions, and this is public entertainment from public places, okay? Don't come at me. But she shouldn't be held responsible for what somebody else posted on the internet. That's just not, especially, it sounds like it was another attorney. I am not sure. So good luck, Dak. This really sucks. I hope that you're not doing that. This is all alleged. We'll see. Additionally, we would ask that any communications from DAC and or their attorneys to come through the blank. It is Mrs. Lynn's desire to move forward with her art business in the most amicable way possible. This is so polite. And she does not feel that continuing any communications with DAC without the consent of counsel is productive. Agreed. Any further direct communications by DAC or DAC employees is unwarranted and will be considered harassment. This letter is without prejudice or to any action that may be taken or demand made on behalf of our client if further action is deemed necessary to protect our client's rights, all of which are expressly reserved. Please confirm receipt of this letter within the 10 business days. And it's just like the last redacted page. Okay, July 3rd via email. Diamond Art Club LLC versus Hannah Lynn. Dear blank, I represent Diamond Art Club LLC, DAC. I am in receipt of your letter dated July 1st. Okay, so they got back within 2 days. 2024 and have carefully reviewed the contentions set forth therein. Your assertions are contrary to the plain language of the parties' written contract and textbook principles of copyright law. By way of background, in or around March of 2021, Hannah Lynn entered into a contract with DAC entitled Artist License Agreement. Miss Lynn agreed to license artwork to DAC. DAC agreed to pay Miss Lynn a royalty based on DAC's sales of the product that incorporate the artwork products. Also, DAC agreed to provide Miss Lynn with several advances on future royalty payments. The agreement contains a strict confidentiality provision and prohibits Miss Lynn from licensing the artwork of any other entities in the diamond art painting industry. DAC would not have entered into an agreement without these material terms. Each artist is, and then it says number 1, which is like a little info thing. Capitalized terms not specifically defined herein shall have the same meaning as the agreement. Okay. Would not have entered without these material terms. Each artist is unique, and DAC cannot offer all artists the same financial terms. DAC understandably goes to great lengths to keep compensation agreements confidential. Ooh, they don't like that she's going public. DAC also invests heavily in developing and marketing products based on licensed art. DAC creates high quality materials, this is true, that its customers use to create replicas. DAC markets licensed artwork in the diamond art community, which creates market for diamond art products based on that art. By prohibiting, I am tired of reading, can you tell? By prohibiting subsequent licensing of the artwork in the diamond art painting industry, the agreement ensures that DAC's competitors cannot capitalize on DAC's efforts. DAC's efforts are meant to reward its artists, not the bottom line of DAC's competitors. Wow, y'all are greedy. Miss Lynn breached the agreement. She provided highly confidential information about the financial terms set forth in the agreement to blank. Therefore, posted this confidential information on social media for the world to see. But she didn't. Someone else did. That was supposed to be a private conversation. The consequences of Miss Lynn's breach are enormous and still snowballing. No, it's not. You're established. You're not going anywhere, DAC. Your characterization of this bleach. Well, I'm about to bleach your mouth. The characterization of this breach is as merely unfortunate is wide of the mark. Okay. The excuses for this breach set forth in your letter do nothing to undo the harm done to DAC. You first state that Miss Lynn believes she was having a confidential conversation with someone who worked in the field of intellectual property. The confidentiality provision set forth in the agreement, section 4.1, notably does not include an exception for the communication with individuals in the field of intellectual property. Further, and perhaps more importantly, Section 4.1 is very much still in force. The contract is done. It expired. Nothing in Section 4.1 or anywhere else in the agreement suggests that Ms. Lynn's confidentiality obligations expire under certain conditions. If the parties to the agreement wanted the Section 4.1 to expire upon termination, they would have said so, as did in Section 1.1 for the terms of agreements. Okay, so it says 2, which is like a little information thing. It must be held in absence of any expression in the contract to the contrary that words which are not synonymous were never intended to be used. Okay, so Miss Lynn also licensed artwork to others in the diamond art painting industry. This licensing activity is explicitly prohibited by Section 1.2. These third parties have capitalized on the market that DAC created. I don't think DAC created diamond painting. I think there was other companies prior, but I don't know. I'm still pretty new. We'll see, but I don't think they did. And on information and belief used DAC's own materials to compete with DAC. No, you're using art. Like, you can't monopolize someone's art like that and be like, we sold your art, so you're not allowed to do any other company like this. Like, you can't do that. As long as they're doing their own rendering and their own changes, or not even changes, but their own rendering through their company. Like, you're not doing anything from DAC. They have their own ways of doing things, in my opinion. The provisions set forth in Section 1.2 are notably similarly not limited to the term of the agreement. I mean, did she sign an NDA? Like, I thought once a contract was void, like, it'd be void. It's done. Like, you're allowed to move on. At least that's what I thought. Okay, so DAC retained the rights in the derivative work it created during the agreement. Miss Lynn has the exclusive right to authorize others to prepare derivative works based on her copyrighted works. So they're saying she can't use their canvases that they charted, I think is what this means. Louis Galoob Toy Inc. versus Nintendo of AM Inc. Ooh, they're bringing other lawsuits into this. That's smart. Miss Lynn explicitly granted DAC the right to create derivative work agreement section 1.4. This derivative work is independently copyrightable, albeit limited in scope so as not to include expressions set forth in the original. U.S. Auto Parts Network Inc. versus Parts Geek LLC, blah, 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 bunch of numbers. I'm skipping that. That was from 2012, though. DAC had rights to create the derivative work, and the DAC's copyright in the work was assigned to DAC immediately upon creation. But you don't own her art, so if they're doing their own rendering, it doesn't matter, right? I'm so confused. I don't think that she's trying to use DAC's rendering. I think they're making changes. And even, okay, so from what I understand and what I believe, I could be wrong, I am not a professional, she's not using DAC's rendering. She's just going to their competitors so she's able to make an income from her artwork. See also agreement 1.2. Licensee agrees that it will not claim any intellectual ownership rights to the artwork or any derivative compilations thereof. Unless such rights are granted by the licensee by the licensor. Emphasis added. Ooh. Miss Lynn is in breach of her contractual commitments. All right. Miss Lynn is in breach of her contractual commitments. That is hardly in doubt. Miss Lynn's conduct gives rise to a claim for breach of contract and exposes her to a substantial potential judgment, which would include both DAC's damages and its attorney fees and costs, as permitted in the agreement. That said, DAC would prefer as an informal resolution to avoid the enormous costs and fees associated with litigation. Please contact the underdesign on or before close of business July 10th of 2024. That is today, to discuss such a resolution. If the parties cannot reach an agreement informally, DAC will have no choice but to move forward with formal action. Ooh, that's kind of scary. Number 3, informational thing, says the agreement provides that all disputes will be resolved in the federal and state court of State of California located in LA County, so Los Angeles County, and that the prevailing party shall be entitled to an award of its costs and attorney fees in section 8.9. Wow, there's more. It doesn't end. Okay. Wait, no, this is done. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. It doesn't. Okay, so that is all of it. And yes, I read all of it. It was a lot. I am so terrified to post this. I am not going to lie. Like I said, I feel like they're just trying to brush this aside so that a lot of people, especially the supporters, because they are such a big company, don't see it. But I feel like there are two sides to the story, and I would love to see a statement from Diamond Art Club about this. I'm not saying that I don't believe Hannah Lynn. I think Hannah Lynn is going through the ringer right now, and that is so unfortunate. And I do not believe that a large company like this should be able to control other people and monopolize the whole industry. I appreciate how amazing their quality is, and I do feel like they listen to their audience, like they're making changes. It's the luxury bougie brand. They have a ton of artists, but they also are using tactics like this to control information about them. If you have a complaint, there are rumors all over Reddit and Facebook and whatnot over the way that they treat their audience or certain customers, or if they decide that this person's complaint isn't valid, they'll take it as a troll comment or whatever. From what I understand, this is just what I'm seeing on the internet. Now, some of them are a little ridiculous. It's like, okay, really, you're gonna ban someone over that? I have seen those rumors, but are they true? I don't know. This is all alleged, okay? All of this is alleged. I am making that so freaking stinking clear, okay? I have to. Come for me. Don't come for me, I mean. Wow. I am asking for it. I don't know what else to say about this. I think I made some of my thoughts pretty clear. I'm also trying to stay kind of neutral. I think that every company should have the chance to make things right. I told you what I was confused on and don't fully understand. I would like to hear your comments down below. Keep it clean. Do not get disrespectful and nasty in the comments. I will not appreciate that. I do not want to be dragged for having opinions or even talking about it, because I do know that loyal, hard fan bases will go hard for the companies that they love. And I respect that so much that they have gained that type of loyalty, but that's also kind of culty. There's going to be other opinions out there in the world, and not everyone's going to like you or your company, just like not everyone's going to like me or my company. I don't have a company. I guess YouTube. But YouTube, I'm not making nothing. I don't even have affiliates, okay? So I'm keeping it raw, keeping it real, and please, don't interact. I'm going to pull a little CC Suarez over here and say this is not a petting zoo. Do not interact. Do not spread hate. Do not go and bully anyone involved. I do not want to see that. That is not what platforms are for, and I do not. Please, be nice to everyone. Like I said, 2 stories. We only know Hannah Lynn's. Diamond Art Club seems to be trying to just make it go away and not allowing anyone to post it. Rumor has it that the main diamond painting thread on Reddit is controlled by them and the moderators deleted. There's rumors that they do that for other Facebook groups. Apparently, there's a whole Facebook group dedicated to hating DAC. I think that if the company was treating their customer base and their audience and their fan base and everyone, all of their clientele, their artists and everybody well, there wouldn't be any established groups that hate the company. That's just my opinion. Obviously, something went awry down this path and people are throwing a little sticks in their spokes and it's getting a little clunky. But I do think that any company can make things right, and there seems to be a public outcry recently of wanting to know if they're going to make things right. Or maybe, you know, their little moral compass just got a little skewed. But at the same time, I said earlier, legal versus moral sometimes don't align. Business model, business plan, I guess, doesn't always align with morality either. So, I don't know. We'll see. What do you think? Leave your comments down below and have a good day. Bye!